let's just say the toilet stopped working a long time ago. The roof segments of the house are both removable, and outside you'll find details like these boarded up windows. The yard hasn't been taken care of, and there's weeds growing everywhere, along with a dead bush. I think it's safe to say that his living conditions are absolutely terrible, but it's entirely his own fault. Next, we're going to build Gus's car, which is an old rusted out piece of junk that he hasn't taken care of. So I gathered up a bunch of brown pieces and these orange ones that are perfect for rust. What's sad about the car is that it actually has a lot of potential, but Gus has completely trashed it. The wheels on it don't even match. Under the hood, I used cool pieces for the engine, like this bendable tube piece, along with this Technic macaroni ball. There's just enough room for Gus, a steering wheel, and a radio. Whenever he is forced to work on it, he always rushes and never fixes anything properly, which inevitably leads to it breaking down again soon afterward. On top of everything about his life being a mess, he's not a good person either. One day he heard an ice cream truck driving up, and by the time he got over to ask for some, it was all sold out. We're out. In a fit of rage, he stomped over and stole one of the kids' popsicles. As he ran off, he heard her crying and felt bad, so he kept running, but knocked over her grandma and felt even worse.
I've fallen, and I can't get up!
To get his mind off of it, him and a friend shot crossbows and slingshots back at his house. They were aiming at these targets, which actually fall back when they get hit, but for some reason, they set them up in front of the windows. As they were hanging out, a girl came walking down the street. Oh yeah. Should I ask her out? Definitely, my dude. Righteous. Hey, baby. I'm no David, but I'd sure like to sling a shot at taking you on a date. I would never go on a date with a guy like you. You have nothing to offer.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't.
Rejected, Gus moped inside. And looking around him, he realized she was right. That night as he slept, he was tormented. Lurching away, he knew he had to change. He couldn't live like this anymore. Grabbing a broom, he set off, cleaning his room. After that, he emptied the trash. He put away everything scattered on the dresser. He even replaced all of his dirty bed sheets. And by the time the rooster crowed, his room was looking 10 times better. But when he stepped outside, he noticed how bad his yard was looking. So he gathered up some pieces and built a lawnmower and got to work. After chopping down the dead bush, he even decided to plant a garden of flowers that he would need to start taking care of. Already feeling like a new man, he decided to shave his face. And that made him feel even better. But then he thought about how out of shape he had gotten, so he decided to call up a personal trainer. I think it's time. You got it. So now we have to build up a gym. In it, you'll find all sorts of equipment. There's a rack of dumbbells that are made using lightsaber handles. A set of tires to test agility. And a ton of other equipment that athletes are using to work out. When Gus and his trainer arrived, they started with pull-ups, but he struggled. To get some cardio, they moved on to this treadmill that is fully functional and can even be motorized. Unfortunately, Gus lost control of how to work it. Next up, they moved on to the squat rack. Never skip spine day. And Gus was able to crank out a few reps. Even though he struggled at first, Gus was determined, so he kept coming back day after day. Cue the montage. And before he knew it, Gus's physique had completely changed. Before he knew it, Gus's physique had completely changed. For our next segment, I'm building a salon because Gus's hair is still looking pretty terrible. I started by laying down a checkered floor pattern before setting up the windows and door. For the sign, I built this huge pair of scissors that uses a design from this friend set, and with that, our salon is looking pretty good. Inside, you'll find an assortment of different tools that the stylists use. I also built up this fancy chair, and you can use a minifigure cape as a cover. Oh no! Oh yeah. And after settling on the perfect haircut, Gus was feeling fresher than ever, but his transformation wasn't complete because he was still wearing the same dirty clothes that didn't even fit him anymore. We need to make a department store where Gus will be able to get a new wardrobe. To make it fancy, the first thing I built up was this rotating door. I then gathered up a ton of gold parts and set off building the rest of it. It has some cool details like these flags, and I use these round clear pieces to make displays for mannequins that can show off all of the latest fashion trends. Inside there's a rack of clothes with a bunch of styles, as well as a display stand showing off a collection of pants. When Gus arrived at the store, he went around in the door a few times just for fun. After that, he was greeted by the two salespeople who worked there. They seemed nice at first, but were really pushy, so he decided to look on his own. But after walking away, he could tell they were staring at him like he was going to steal something. After trying on a ton of different clothes, Gus found some that he really liked. He didn't want to get his new clothes rusty and dirty, so he decided it was time to fix up his old car. So he gathered up his tools and got to work. He replaced all of the engine's components with top-of-the-line parts, giving it a ton of horsepower. In the trunk of the car, he installed a compartment for subwoofers, and instead of fitting just him, this interior can fit 3 minifigures. After finishing all of the repairs, he could hardly believe it was the same car as before. But let's see it in action. To make the fog effect, I thought about buying a machine, but they were expensive, so I created my own method using this humidifier that I already had. However, the mist wasn't controllable and just floated all over, so I used this really bendable rubber straw that worked surprisingly well to direct the fog where I wanted it to go, and I definitely think I'll use this effect in the future for spooky scenes and other stuff. But the rest of Gus's house was still a wreck, so after evicting the rats with a broom, he stole Shakespeare's neck ruffle and used it to start cleaning everything. And it made it look even better, but there's only so much you can do with a neck ruffle, so he decided to remodel the entire thing. He replaced the boarded up windows with brand new ones with nice shutters. On the inside, the first thing he did was lay down new floorboards. In the bathroom, he replaced everything and made it look so much nicer. In the kitchen, he installed new cabinets, as well as an additional window to let in some natural light. And with all of the new features, his house is the cleanest and most comfortable it's ever been. Compared to before, I think it's safe to say that the renovations made Gus's house way nicer. However, all of these improvements cost him a lot of money, so he had to get a job. And since he didn't have any work experience, what better place than McDonald's? For it, I'm going with the classic colorful version. McDonald's seriously got old and depressed, so after building all of it up, I added this cool roof with the classic shape. However, I forgot to add those cool lines. There, that's better. This wall swings out to show the inside, where I set up the kitchen, which has all of the burger ingredients and a couple of paper bags. In the dining area, there's a couple of seats where minifigures can enjoy their meals and hang out. I also built this quarter pounder with cheese that uses this cool bun piece. It's an exclusive part that only ever came in Scooby-Doo sets. Outside in the drive-thru, you'll find this large menu board showing some of the burgers and fries that customers can pick. And when they pull around to the window, it can slide open, where Gus will hand them their food. For the final addition, I had to add the giant golden arches, which are large enough to be seen from any of the nearby streets. After working diligently